It's such second nature to me at this point that, you know what, whatever. It's fine. I only brought one fan with me or else it wouldn't be a drag fan, but it's fine. It's fine. But hello. Hi, house guests. Welcome to the Cup TV, part of the Currently Unnamed Podcast Network, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy, say something gay. And today I am drinking a Coke Zero, because I am the Coke Zero girly of today's podcast.
I don't know what's with you people.
I thought I would have gotten a better reaction out of you. I'm going to be honest. I was really hoping for a better reaction, but it's fine.
I'm sorry. I'm all laughed out over the...
Much better.
Oh God, I hate this so much.
Go check out our main channel if you want to know the full tea behind Coke Girly.
Hey everybody, I'm Lana, your resident evil diva, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know that's me some tea. I am currently just drinking on some water here. Hydration is important, and I have my cup mug here too as well. Always. And you can get your cup mug at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. Get your cup merch. Let's talk, Big Brother, because...
Let's talk, Big Brother. But first, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things reality competition TV. Make sure to check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, and our Patreon. So, I'm going to be honest, there's not a whole lot to talk about in this update. It's going to be a quicker one from us. We are waiting, I believe as of this current moment that we are filming, we are waiting for feeds to go down for the Power of Veto ceremony.
Competition.
Power of Veto competition. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So we won't have veto results here today. We'll talk about them on the Tuesday episode, which, if you are not aware, we are here talking Big Brother on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So make sure to check out our recaps. We will be live right after the double eviction on Thursday as well. So make sure to tune in for that. But where we left off last on Thursday, T-Core was unfortunately evicted by a vote of 4-1, the one vote coming from Chemo. As we thought, and I'm happy to say, it seems like it has not affected Chemo's relationship with Rubina. They kind of need each other. And we were talking about it very much so being 3 trios and Mackenzie. Going into... Did I say trios?
You said trios.
3 duos.
We've been saying trios this whole season because of the trio.
So used to trios that and I love that they didn't have a more creative name. They were just the trio. They could have had an alliance name, but no, the alliance name was the trio.
They could have been the 3 Musketeers, 3
triple threats,
something.
3 amigos, but no, they're just the trio, and it's kind of iconic that they're just the trio. But we saw the HOH competition start on Thursday's episode. Thank you very much, production. I know this is basically the first time they could have done it this season, so I appreciate it. The eye candy competition: stack as many pieces of Janky's favorite candy as they can within an hour time limit. When we left off, it seemed like Rubina had a pretty good stack. Angela had a pretty good stack. But we found out that Mackenzie won the HOH. I'm very excited by this. I think it's very fun. I'm not mad.
I'm not mad at this at all.
And she is now the third woman to win an HOH and veto this season.
Good on her.
I love it. I love it. She is one competition away as well from matching Tucker's comp record this season. And I hope she gets it.
She has a really good shot at it.
I think she does. Definitely. Honestly, the discussion about nominations was really straightforward.
Right to the point. So very quickly.
But I'm just going to go ahead and... Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and let everyone know, if you don't already know. Mackenzie nominated Angela and Chemo for eviction this week. Angela is her target because she has finally caught on to the fact that Angela is actually playing this game well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, MJ. Thank you, MJ.
Somebody had to catch on.
To. Yeah.
It was her way of knowing and acknowledging how well Angela is playing this game, and it was her way of trying to weaken Leah a little bit in this game as well, because Leah and Angela are the duo is a duo now, being together, and Leah has made it very well known that she does not think Angela is good to leave this house, and she's somebody who she would want to keep in this house. And we even had a conversation between Leah and Mackenzie because Mackenzie is playing this very smart, because she knows that her and Leah were very close earlier on in this game, and she wants to keep that number around for jury vote. She doesn't want to go to the end with Leah. That's very obvious. She doesn't want to go to the end with Leah. She wants Leah gone, but she knows she can't do it. And so she had a conversation with Cam and Chelsea, and they were talking about how, who she should put up, why she should do this. And at first Leah's name came out, and she was like, I agree. Leah needs to go, and she needs to be up. She said, but y'all, I can't do it. And that was the same thing that Chelsea said about T-Core, the same thing T-Core said about Chelsea. Like, I know she needs to go, but I can't be the one to do it. And so Cam was like, I get it, and that's fine. I have no problem doing it. So if we got to wait till the next time to get her, then we'll do that. Right.
It seems like at this point, if Leah does not win the double eviction HOH, she is going on the block, and she is the target.
Yeah.
If I were Rubina or Chemo, that's not what I would do.
I mean, if I was Rubina,
and Chemo, I wouldn't do that.
I would put MJ and Cam up, or some sort of
some
MJ,
combination
Cam,
of Mackenzie, Cam, and Chelsea. 100%.
100%.
They're gonna want, and I think because Rubina has been talking to Mackenzie as well. Chemo has been talking to Mackenzie as well, and they are going along with the idea of targeting Leah. They don't know it's going to be a double. By the end of the week, they'll probably predict that it's going to be a double. Mm-hmm. As soon as they're told wear athletic clothes for the eviction, they're going to know that it's a double.
Yeah.
Because it has to be at this point. Yeah. So I'm very interested to see when we come back on Tuesday, whether there's going to be any pre-double eviction planning going on. I hope we get some. Mm-hmm. But it seems like Rubina and Chemo are going along with the idea of targeting Leah in the double eviction. I think, especially if Angela goes this week, I think that is maybe completely detrimental to Chemo and Rubina's games. And if the final five ends up being Cam, Chelsea, Mackenzie, Chemo, and Rubina, I feel like we already know the top three, bar a shocking veto win at Final Four.
Right.
Like, that is the only way, unless one of them, or a shock Final Five HOH win, or a shock Final Four veto win, I think we would see the final three being Cam, Mackenzie, and Chelsea, which I would not be mad at all.
Right.
Given how great this season has been. I wouldn't be mad if Rubina or Chemo were there. I wouldn't be mad if Leah or Angela's there. Everyone is so good this season that it's just like, and I think it was we were talking with David about it, and David was just like, there's no one that has really stuck out to me this season, but I like them all. And that's really how I'm feeling going into this final 7 is like, anyone could win. And I love that that's how we're feeling.
Because usually by this point in Big Brother, either two things happen. Either we're just so sick of it and we're so tired of it and we're bored and I don't want to watch it anymore. Or it's like, it's hard to watch because there's still some people in there I don't really like. But it's a couple of people in there that I do that I'm rooting for. So I'm sticking around to root for the people who I want to root for. But there's certain people I just don't like. Here's the thing. In this season, I kind of feel like everybody has played a really decent game. I don't think anybody in this season has played a great game. I feel like everybody has played a really good, solid game. A game good enough to say you deserve to win. Everybody in here has played a game that it feels like they deserve to win.
Everyone is on the exact same level. It's a high level, for me at least, but everyone is on the same level.
I feel like everybody is on a level. I won't say high or low. For me, everybody is on a level. I think that anybody who wins this season is probably not going to be known as a legend among Big Brother players. Like, they're not going to come out of this season as one of the best of the best. I think they're going to be somebody who's good. They're going to be a good winner, a nice, solid tier winner. They won't be top tier winners. They won't be, up there with the Dans and the Derricks and they won't be up there for their game strategy wise. They won't even be up there with the Taylors for the social games of it all. I think they'll be at a very solid win, like Xavier level, like very good, solid, nothing spectacular, but even who's the other person? I was just thinking I just had their name. Oh my gosh. Like, they're not going to be at the people will be like, I can't believe they won, like a Josh. Like, he didn't win. Paul
or like a Jordan.
Right. Like I think
like a Jordan, like an Andy, like
like a Nicole, her first win. It was a good win. It wasn't a it wasn't a legend status win. She reached that status for other reasons, not because of her first win. It was a good win.
I would even say someone going as far back as Lisa, honestly.
Yeah.
I think I think the Xavier comparison is a really, really spot on comparison, because I think the winner of this season is going to be a very good winner from a very, very good season. And that's what Xavier is, a good winner from a really great season.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're going to get. I think the one person that at this current moment, I'm going to say two. I'm going to say two. I think there's two people that could win amongst this cast that I would say, based on their storyline, would be an upper tier winner as opposed to like a mid tier winner. And those would be Mackenzie and Angela, based on their stories alone. Angela coming in, winning the first HOH, being incredibly erratic throughout the season, and developing and evolving into this really great social strategic player. I think that is a good story that a lot of people are going to remember. Whether you like Angela or not, she's played a really great game up to this point. And should she not get evicted this week, I think we're going to continue to see Angela play a really great game. Mackenzie started with the upgrade, was on the block basically, I think, almost every week of the pre-jury, and fought her way. She won 2 incredibly crucial AI arenas that caused 2 of the biggest blindsides of the season. She has worked her way from underdog to the most solid position in this house. That is a top tier Big Brother winning story.
I mean, I would give her, she would definitely be up there. She would, her
not
story.
S tier, but right now maybe like A or B.
A tier, not S tier. She would be A tier.
A minus tier. A minus right now. Who knows what the rest of her game is going to do? Who knows if she's even going to win? But
and I think I would add Chelsea to that too, because I think Chelsea has played.
Chelsea was the other person I was thinking about.
I think Chelsea has played one of the best strategic games and made sure that she was always in a position where people wanted her around. She was never from day one, honestly, even losing, getting the downgrade.
From getting her majority alliance blown up, getting the upgrade, falling into the majority alliance, getting the downgrade, her majority alliance getting completely demolished in a span of a few days, having to rebuild, having to rely more on her social game than her strategic game, and now we're seeing her strategic game come back into play. I agree with you. Those it would be Mackenzie, Angela, and Chelsea for me. I'm gonna go ahead and say those would be the best winners of this season. I'll say that for me, but again, would not be mad at anybody else winning. I do also want to point out when Leah and Mackenzie were talking, they came up with a theory, and I've kind of been thinking this too, and I hope it's kind of true. Leah was telling Mackenzie that she thought they exterminated the house, and that's why they did the Janky World twist. Because the house needed to be exterminated, because every year we hear them talk about the ant problems. So it would not surprise me in the slightest if they just went ahead and exterminated. And honestly, if that's the reason we got Janky World, cool. I'm not honestly that mad at it. But I just think that was a really funny anecdote.
I think, I mean, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they took that time to do some really good deep cleaning of that house and made sure that everything for TV, because after a while, come on, we've seen seasons where the house
kitchen alone looked cleaner.
It did. It really did. When they came back in, I was like, it looks when
we saw T-Core walk through.
When T-Core walked through, I was like, oh, that looks cleaner. It looks shinier. It looks like new. So I think they took that time that week to deep clean the house, exterminate the house, get the house, because this is still TV. It still looks good. And we've seen during the season where the house just starts looking a little dingy. It just looks a little dingy from time to time. So if that's the case, good on them. Do that more often. Do that every season. Take your time to get them outside for a while and clean the house.
Yeah. The other big thing is we do know from what Mackenzie has told, specifically Cam and Chelsea, but she's also told Leah this. If the veto is used on either Angela or Chemo, the most likely scenario is that Rubina will be the replacement nominee. And in the case that it is Rubina versus Chemo, Mackenzie would like to see Chemo go. Because of his social game, which I think makes complete sense.
Makes sense.
It's a smart backup move. Because like we talked about, she can't be the one to take out Leah unless something majorly shifts, and it could in this house. It really could. If Chelsea puts in the work,
which we've seen her do.
Yeah. If Angela wins the veto, she's not going to want Leah to go up, period. And obviously she's going to use it on herself. I think if Chelsea and or Chemo and Rubina get in Mackenzie's head, I could see a scenario where they shift it and Mackenzie could potentially renom Leah.
And here's the thing. I feel like this is one of Leah's downfall or like flaws in this game.
The chink in her armor.
Yeah, this is her chink in her armor. Is sometimes Leah is a little unaware of how annoying she could be, and some people don't think about how annoyance could be a factor of why people want you out of the house. We don't take into consideration that sometimes us being a little not aware of our surroundings and what we say to people and how we talk to people, because if we all remember, Leah and Mackenzie used to be very close in the beginning of this game, and at some point they just stopped talking to each other for a while. Like they weren't as close in the middle of this game as they were at the beginning of this game. And then now, which is what I said when we talked about this on Thursday, I said because we predicted Mackenzie maybe possibly winning this HOH on Thursday.
We called
it. And when she did, I was like, and I told y'all what's going to happen is she will win it. And Leah is going to go and cling on to her and cling on to her like saran wrap. And that is what she's doing right now, because Leah is a clinger. She clings on to power. She's done it this entire game. She always goes to the HOH. She spends all the time in them, and all of a sudden the HOH is her best friend. But before that, she was nowhere near him. And her and Mackenzie didn't have that relationship throughout this entire game.
They've been very hot and cold.
Very hot and cold with each other throughout this season. So that's why I'm like, if Mackenzie wins, Leah's going to cling on. And we saw that the second Mackenzie won, they back in the camera doing they night one stuff. We got this. We doing this. That the only time we saw that was night one after Matt went. Week one when Matt went home. We're gonna do this for Matt, and that whole Mackenzie fake. we saw the gift. We all saw what we talk about.
Oh yeah,
but I knew this was something that could happen with Mackenzie and Leah, and so that's why Leah is just right on Mackenzie's butt. She gonna be there this entire week.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say about Leah, she said something that made sense. If Mackenzie started listening to and was realistically looking at the big picture, maybe Angela going home is not the right move for her. And Leah told her that. And I'm like, as much as I'm not a fan of Angela, she's right. Angela going home.
Angela's not going to put up Mackenzie.
No.
She's going to put up Cam and Chelsea.
But me personally, for my personal
I would like Angela to go.
I want Angela to go because I don't want that to happen.
I want Angela or Leah to go this week. For me personally, that's what I want to see happen.
But for Mackenzie's game, this might not be the best move for her to get rid of Angela. But Leah tried to tell her, but Mackenzie is like, but it's all because Mackenzie is not a fan of Angela. She just she noted, and she's recognizing, like we said, how good Angela has been playing this game.
Yeah.
And the resume that she's subtly building. Yeah. And Mackenzie recognized that. So I get it. I get both sides. I understand why she would not be a good move to make for Mackenzie's game, but I understand why she could be a good move for Mackenzie's game. It's like 50-50 at this point.
Right. I want to circle back for a moment to something that you brought up, and it was the comment on Leah being annoying, because that has become a whole monster of its own on Twitter, because of Chelsea making commentary about, it was like 250 times in one conversation, something like that, between Chelsea and Leah, where Leah said I or me. And I want to acknowledge that because the fact that incredibly racist Big Brother fans have now decided that they're going to attack Chelsea over this and call her Republican and call her all of these nasty, vile words is
so
disgusting.
Republican is a vile word.
I know. But I just think it's disgusting.
Be a Republican. There's nothing wrong with being a Republican.
She very well could be, but they're saying that she is all of these things that, to our knowledge, we don't know her to be.
Right.
And I don't want to assume that. We will see where she lands after the season airs. I'll say that much for now. But I do want to comment on it because there has been a discussion on Twitter parallel to that about the number of house guests this season that we have that are some form of neurospicy, have some kind of neurospiciness, specifically talking about a lot of house guests with ADHD, and to our knowledge, Leah being one of them.
Yes.
Tucker being one, Rubina being one, and I do not remember the fourth person that they
I think
it might have been
Joseph.
Or it might have been T-Core, it might have been Joseph, I'm not sure. The three that I remember specifically were Leah, Tucker, and Rubina. But beyond that point, as someone with ADHD, who is now medicated for my ADHD, and I'm very thankful that I am now, the fact that they are not allowed to have their medications if they are taking any, which I was actually made aware of this week. I wasn't aware that house guests with ADHD are actually not allowed to have their medications in the house because it is considered an aid. And I think that is honestly completely stupid. I think that is idiotic. I'm gonna be 100% frank. I think it's idiotic to not allow house guests to have the medication that doesn't give them an advantage. That's the thing that is the most frustrating to me, is that they consider it an aid or that they would have an advantage. No, it just means that our brains will function normally. And as someone with ADHD and potentially some form, and I haven't been tested, but this is just where my brain is at, so probably some form of high functioning autism. I know the impact that having medication for those things has had on my life in a very short time. I've only been taking medication for it for about a month. And I can tell the absolute transformation in my body and in my mind and in the way that I process things because I'm on medication now. I don't know how I would react in a Big Brother house where I didn't have that medication because A, it's a brand new experience. B, my mind is running at 5,000 miles a minute. And you're with complete strangers in an environment you don't know. I would probably have a panic attack, honestly. And I just think I would love to see Big Brother reconsider this if it is actually a thing that they're doing. And I don't know it to be 100% true. CBS has not said anything specific about it. But if that is a circumstance, I think you are alienating a large population of Big Brother fans and people in general that would love to play this game. And if that's the case, I don't know that I would want to play Big Brother anymore. Because honestly, I think I would be an absolute disaster not being on my medication in that house.
And I feel that. I see that. Let me play devil's advocate right now.
Absolutely.
So for someone who doesn't have ADHD and if they come into the house, and here's where I feel like maybe having the medication for people with ADHD, they could consider it an aid. Because when you come into the house and you don't have ADHD or anything like that, and you don't have medication and you come in, you just have to feel everything.
Yeah.
Every emotion, every anxiety, everything. You just have to feel it and you have to go through it. And you don't have a medication to take you down from that and make your brain slow down from. You just have to feel it. So, and I get people with ADHD, their brains work differently, and it drives them a little bit crazy. But just because I don't have ADHD doesn't mean my brain does not go a little crazy from time to time.
Absolutely.
And I have to feel those anxieties. So I can understand them saying, okay, you have medication to help you come down from that.
Yeah.
That will be considered an aid for somebody who doesn't have medication to come down from that. And they just have to be in that feeling. So I can understand the balance, but I can understand why it's so a little frustrating to people with ADHD who's like, I just want to feel normal and I just want to bring my brain down.
I just want to be on the same level as everybody else.
Same level as everybody else all the time.
Yeah.
And so I just want to be on that level all the time with these people. And my medication keeps me here. But you take it away, I'm up here most of the time when they're down here until they feel anxiety, and then they come up to my level and then they're up there, but then they can just naturally go back down and I'm still here. So I understand the imbalance that is and the frustration for the people with ADHD, but I can understand how CBS would say that is an aid for someone who doesn't have ADHD, who has to go through those feelings and just be in that feeling and don't have anything to bring them down. We can't sleep properly because it's a time. We can't eat normally because they have certain
you might
foods
be a have-not.
Right, you can be a have-not one week. And so I can
Yeah.
understand both sides of the coin, and it's
Yeah.
frustrating, but it's like, how do we resolute that? I don't know. Because how do you tell somebody with ADHD who has medication and say, well, you can't be on your medicine, and so they just have to live through this stress and live through it, but then to turn around and say, but you don't have ADHD and you're going through it, but you don't have an aid to bring you down. We can't give you anything to bring you down when we can give this person that. So I get it. CBS is they're caught in between a rock and a hard place with this.
Yeah, and I definitely understand why they would consider it an aid. I absolutely get that. I would hedge a bet to say that most of the people working on the production of Big Brother are neurotypical, based on the way that they've reacted to this alone. But like for me, I take 4 medications daily to make sure that I can function properly and I don't die. Like that's, and I would be worried as someone that would love to play Big Brother. It would be a dream to play Big Brother. But as someone with several medications to make sure that I don't die and that my situation doesn't worsen, I don't know that it is for me anymore. And it would be something, should I get, because I'll be honest, I've applied a few times, have never made it past the application. I'll say that very openly. If I were to make it at least somewhat far in the process, that would be something that I would immediately bring up. Mostly because I wouldn't want to waste my own time. I wouldn't want to waste producers' time either. But I would want to make sure that whoever I'm talking to understands that even if this isn't a game for me, at the end of the day, neurospicy people and people with, with ADHD, with anxiety, with depression, with autism, with bipolar, whatever it may be, we can play these games the same way that everybody else does. There is just that need for those of us that are medicated. There is a need for, it's not an aid, it's a regulator. I just want to be able to compete in this show on the same level as everybody else is. That's what it is.
Yeah, but then there's also those people who say, well, I need a sleep aid to be that normal, that, and then,
I think they have actually gotten better over the last couple of seasons about giving out melatonin. I think,
because remember, and I hate bringing him up and bringing up his name, but the situation with Jackson, he had that something needed.
We even had that this season with Quinn. One of the things that wasn't shown on the show at all is for the first month, there was a whole issue in the house with Quinn sleepwalking and sleep talking to the point where there was one week where there were no have-nots and Quinn just had to sleep in the have-not room because he wasn't sleeping well. He was sleepwalking, sleep talking. It was a whole situation. So from what I understand, they've gotten better about sleep aids and things like that. I would just like to see Big Brother get to the point where everyone get exactly what they need to be their most functional self, whether it's,
as long
medication, as long as it's legal. I wouldn't want to go into the house and be like, yeah, I need marijuana daily. Am I an avid marijuana user? Yes. But I wouldn't take it that far unless it is a medical purpose. And in that case, I understand it. There's just a big gray area when it comes to that on the show. And it's not something that has ever been brought up until the last couple of years on the show. So it's a conversation worth having. My point with that is I understand why, to circle back completely to the original reason I brought the whole thing up. And I love that we have this whole conversation. But when Chelsea was complaining about Leah, talking about herself a lot, oversharing is one thing that a lot of people with ADHD do. Once we feel comfortable with someone, we have an innate feeling and a want and sometimes a need to share, to overshare, to share everything. And so while I do understand Chelsea, getting a little frustrated with Leah, I hope that there is a little bit of compassion on Chelsea's part. I don't see why there wouldn't be. I'm not sure that she is aware of whatever if there is any neurospicy going on in Leah's brain. I don't think we have that confirmed either.
I mean,
but
MJ was talking to Cam and Chelsea when she was talking about that, and she was like, MJ was like, I think Leah is ADHD. I think there's you know, she mentioned her having ADHD, so maybe that's a part of it. And so and I think Chelsea understands it. And see, here's the thing. I want people to stop looking at this as Chelsea being mean instead of Chelsea being human and venting when she's annoyed, because everybody is allowed to be annoyed. You're stuck in a house with people for 90 something days or however many days they're in there now.
What, like 63, I think?
63 days. And she has been in this house listening to Leah, even understanding that somebody has ADHD. You could still get annoyed by hearing the same conversations over and over again. I love Logan to death, but if we were stuck in a house for 60 something days and the constant conversation is, I did this, me, I mean, me, I will be like, okay, Logan, I love you, but give me a minute so I can go get away from this for a second.
I would be annoyed at someone like that. Like, I get it. I absolutely get it.
Everybody, and that's human. That is human all the way around. And that it doesn't even have to be about me, I. It's just hearing this same person, same voice talking all the time and constantly. And it can be talking about anything. After 60 something days, you've run out of stuff to talk about with these people who you don't know. You have to come up with new things, and it's a human response to get a little frustrated, and it's a human response to vent to other people. So let her live, let her breathe. Yes, she was frustrated with Leah, and yes, it sucks that she's frustrated with someone with ADHD, but having ADHD does not
make you immune to
criticism and make you immune to people not enjoying you. Sometimes we're human. We just sometimes have moments where I am frustrated with hearing you speak. So I'm gonna go talk to somebody else like, can you believe this person is really still talking, getting on my nerves? I can't do it. It's a lot. That is her woo-saw to breathe, so she can then calm down, pace herself, and then go right back into that conversation with Leah so they can continue to play this game. We can't act like these people are not human. They are not characters on a TV show. They are actual people playing a game that happens to be on TV. So their real reactions are real. If you were in that position, people out there, I'm talking to all of y'all. If you were in that situation, you would need people to vent to. We all have friends and people who we don't like a certain person, and we need our friends and our other people who we can go vent to. That doesn't make you a mean person. That just means you're human and frustrated. So let's get off of that and calm down being racist. That's just the lowest hanging of the ugliest fruit. And just because somebody mentions somebody being of certain race, don't make them racist. Because I made a comment earlier on Twitter that people got mad at me because I said I don't want boring white men on TV. And they were like, oh, why do we have to bring race into this? Oh my God, it's not that deep. It's really not that deep. We can move past all of this. We can do past all of this. And sure, I'm going to apologize. Maybe I could say it. I could have just said these two boring men. I don't want to see these two boring men on TV. But
how dare you talk about men like that? No, I'm kidding. Please.
Right, because that would be the next thing.
Yeah. Exactly. The whole point the strategic point I was making with this whole conversation that has now made us go over the 30 minutes we thought we were going to do for this episode. It's a long episode. Woo. The point I was trying to make is I think that because of this annoyance that Chelsea has for Leah, I think that could spur a lot of Chelsea trying to convince Mackenzie if there is a veto used situation, which Mackenzie has said she wants this to be the first time the veto is not used this season. And I understand that for her game for sure. Should the veto be used, I think Chelsea could put in the work to potentially get her to put Leah up. It may not be to explicitly target Leah, But the bitches are gonna vote out Leah if Leah's on the block right now. Even if it's over Angela, I think they would vote out Leah at this point.
I think she would mention it, but I don't think she would push too hard because she doesn't
would plant
want
the seeds for it.
Absolutely. And I think she would plant the seed for if it happens this week, or if it doesn't happen this week, maybe the Mackenzie will be on board with letting it happen a different time. You know what I mean?
Mackenzie has said she would love to do it next week. That's what she was saying is the ideal scenario.
Yeah. So there's that. But it happens. They are Chemo, Angela are the nominees. We do have veto picks. Our veto picks.
Everyone but Rubina. Which kind of sucks for Rubina because she's going to be the replacement nom most likely if the veto is used. So that actually really sucks. So if Rubina goes up and goes home, it would actually be a true backdoor.
Yep.
At top 7.
And we've had a backdoor last week, so a true backdoor last week with T-Core.
No, T-Core played the veto.
Oh, she played the veto.
She did play the veto.
Never mind. Never you mind.
Yep. The only true backdoor this season, I think the only two were Cedric and Tucker, I think.
And would you count AI Arena as making it a true backdoor? Because they did have a chance to save themselves.
Yes, because, well,
I don't know. I wouldn't think so.
Not.
I don't think it would be a true backdoor because they did have an opportunity to save themselves.
Did Quinn play veto the week he went up? I don't remember.
We'll have to look into that.
Was Quinn actually backdoored?
Was he truly backdoored? I don't know.
But yeah, everyone but Rubina is playing in veto. As of this current moment, a couple of different people have been called to the DR, but feeds still are not down. Let me double check that before feeds are still not down. Which makes me think that it is a very quick veto this week. Because feeds are usually down by now.
Or a night
veto. Yeah, because we're filming this, for context, we're filming this just before 2 p.m. Big Brother time. Which is also just before 2 p.m. my time, because I am on Big Brother time. But they usually, feeds are usually down at this point. So I don't know what's going on with it, but regardless, we're not going to wait here to talk about the veto results because we've already gone for much longer than we thought we would today, being honest with y'all. But
we'll be back.
A lovely conversation nonetheless.
We will be back. A conversation that needs to happen. A conversation that needs to happen.
And I love it. So yes, we will be back on Tuesday to talk about the veto episode. No, the HOH episode. The veto comp. I could not think of the word competition just now. The veto comp.
Yes.
The veto meeting, and hopefully some pre-double eviction planning on the part of the house guests. Right. We will be back on Thursday as well, live right after the double eviction to talk all things double eviction. With this cast, anything could happen, and I'm very excited. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. But first, make sure to subscribe, like, and share on the way out. Thank you for joining us. Let us know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Who do you want to win the season? Let us know your winner picks down in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Make sure to check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, because we have a lot of content coming out here weekly at the Cup Network, as well as our Patreon for exclusive content and early access, our social media where you can follow us a little bit more, and the link to get your merch, including but not limited to Cup mug. And with all that being said, we are gonna go ahead and get out of here. So cheers. From way, way, way outside the Big Brother house, we've been the Cup.
Love only yourself. No one else. Just yourself.
Absolutely no one else.
No one else at all.
No at all.
Ever.